Okay, that was epic. We have now had time to sink our teeth into Modern Warfare, so it is time to give it a review. Oh yeah, and while you're at it, thanks for subscribing. So, first things first, I have a bit of a personal problem with this game, and that is, me and this game just don't click. I love it, but we just don't click. Now, what I mean by this is my KD is a 1.3, but for a while it was just about a 1. I was just about playing positive. Yet in other games like Modern Warfare Remastered, my KD is almost a 2. Like in any other COD game, I'm goated on the sticks, as the kids say, but in Modern Warfare, I'm just a bloody Mongo or something. Like, is it me being a dumbass? Is it skill-based matchmaking? Is it something else? Aside from my personal beef, the most important thing to a COD multiplayer has to be the darned maps, and that's something we had a whole video discussing yesterday. The maps in this game are very different to any other, like, COD game. They are not exactly like Modern Warfare 2 maps, or Modern Warfare 3 maps, or COD 4 maps, or older style maps which people were really hoping for. I don't think it's all bad like some people are making it out to be. Ramaza, Gunrunner, St. Petrograd, those maps are pretty damn good if you ask me, but overall, sadly, the maps in both quality and quantity do feel like it's lacking. It's like, I feel like I should have more, but I just don't. And yes, the map designers from COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 returned for this game, but it's just, I don't know, just thinking about how perfect the maps in Modern Warfare 2 were, maybe we were hoping for too much. Another thing which is simply really damn important are the weapons, and the weapons in this game are dope. There's so much to choose from, and they feel meaty. Not only that, the progression of the camos and the variants and the attachments to the whole gunsmith idea is just perfect. And of course, it's time to talk about kill streaks, which are top tier. Like, it's a shame that it's so hard for me to earn them, like anything above a UAV, because this game hates me, but simply the streaks in this game are like, they're up there with like the best of a franchise. Modern Warfare 2, MW3, the original Black Ops 2, you know, pretty good streaks, lads. I hope most of you guys have watched the Act Man and some of his videos reviewing COD games. They are really well done, and something that he says, and he puts it perfectly, is how COD games are like sandboxes, and some have more toys to play with than others. That's why Modern Warfare 2 is like a gold standard, because there's just so much and everything is so good. And honestly, Modern Warfare has a lot of toys, a lot of good toys in the sandbox, more than any COD has in recent years, which is why I just cannot sit here and say, oh, this game sucks, it's the worst, it's a disgrace. I can't possibly say that with a straight face. It just kind of sucks that one of the most important building blocks of the games, the maps, are just a controversial thing that I think most would agree feels like they're lacking in some degree. Now fellas, I'm going to give you a tip, and you can thank me later. Seriously, I think this is the word, implore you, I beg you to go and play an hour, give it a chance, of Ground War. If you want a pure AIDS fest, this is it. If you want that Modern Warfare 2 vibe of everything is so over the top, so much action, Ground War is where you should be at. That's where I find most of my fun. Now, the big city district map is a bit of a coin flip. It's okay, but the Cast River Quarry map, man, that is where it's at, you know, running around in those buildings in the top and the sea bridge, like where the buildings connect. If you are struggling to find fun in this game, then play Ground War. And I know there's going to be people who just want to stick to their guns of 6v6 and they're like, oh, COD shouldn't be Battlefield. Well, I don't know, lads, I'm just having fun with it. Now, Modern Warfare does not have regular challenges like we are used to, which really caught me off guard, but I kind of like this system, but at the same time, I'm not really sure if a change was needed. You know how pretty much every COD game has those challenges that are always on in the background, and you get XP rewards and cooling cards and emblems, and it plays an awesome guitar riff. I was just about to mimic it, but I think I'll save you. I'll save you from hell and not do that. Even though challenges are such a simplistic thing that I've been in COD for like over 10 years at this point, even then, in every new COD, I love grinding challenges, And this game, you have to like select a certain challenge to go for, and you can only select one at a time. It's interesting. I'm not going to say it's terrible and they've killed it. Like, I don't know, yeah. There was something, a small thing, which COD used to do and it stopped, so I got on my knees and begged, and it finally happened. And that is different announcers for like different maps and factions. Like how back in the day, let's just take COD 4, if you're playing on a Russia map, it like links to the storyline of the game, so you will play as SAS versus Russian Spetsnaz, and so there's different music and different announcers for that faction. And then if you play in a Middle East map, it's the Marines versus the UPFOR, and once again different soundtracks, different voice acting. And this game finally brings that back. If you are playing as the good faction, like the coalition or whatever, you might have an American announcer or an English announcer depending on the map. Also, for the bad guys, on the Middle East maps, there's like an African sounding announcer. Like, what? Who did this? Now, like I said, the camos and the attachment grinds in this game are insane, and they add so much replayability and just, I don't know, so much to grind for. For the most part, I have said what I wanted to say about specific things, but to cut a long story short, to sum it up, I do want to say that Modern Warfare does so much right, but at the same time, it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. So what I will say is just if this game had the basis of the maps of a previous golden age COD, then this would easily be one of the best CODs ever. If this game was exactly as it is, but it had all the Modern Warfare 2 maps, this game would be top damn tier. And I get it, you might say, oh, but I don't want remastered maps. I'm not talking about remastered maps. I'm just saying, imagine if those maps didn't exist in the past, and instead Modern Warfare had 16 maps which were as good as Modern Warfare 2, or Black Ops 2, or Modern Warfare 3, or COD 4, or just those older COD games that did maps so right. The maps are the basis for the entire game. That's why I have said for years they are the single most important thing to a COD game, right? Imagine if you could load up Modern Warfare right now and play Terminal, play Karachi, play Scrapyard, play Rust, play Wasteland. In my opinion, the top 2 games for maps are Modern Warfare 2 and the original Black Ops, and that's because when I look at those games, both of those games only have one map that I'm not really so sure if I like the maps, and that is Crisis and Derailed. Apart from that, the standard quality of maps are so damn good, and I don't know about you guys, but like, what maps in recent CODs do you actually get excited to play? Do you actually load up into a lobby, see the map and be like, oh yes? Like for me, in recent years, for recent CODs, like hardly any. My main game for a while has been Modern Warfare Remastered, and that game has those maps. When I see Crash, Bog, Ambush, Overgrown, when I see those maps pop up, I like literally get excited to play them. Anyway, I think that's enough ranting. So to cut the long story short is this game, I know it's probably a cool thing to hate on the game, whatever, but this game does so much right, so much better, in my opinion, than any recent COD. It is so high up there, it has so much potential, but it just needed and sadly lacks the elevation of top quality, interesting variety map design. But apart from that, it just does so much right in so many different areas. So lads, stay spicy and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.